All right, good evening. We're going to go ahead and get started with this regular commission meeting for Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. If I can please have the city clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Caldwell. Commissioner Harriet.
Present.
Commissioner Howington. Here. Commissioner Novick.
Here.
Commissioner Santiago.
Here.
Vice Mayor Avila Vasquez.
Present.
Mayor Avila.
Here. At this time, we're going to go ahead and I will hand it over to Commissioner Novick of District 6 for the invocation and pledge to the flag.
Do my mic, Mayor? Okay. And that might come to know you more, and that others will come to your light. Amen. May be seated.
Thank you, Commissioner Novick. At this time, we're going to go to additions and deletions. Hearing none, we're going to go to presentations, awards, and reports. First up is a presentation by Mr. Ben Eby with Vice President Administrator for Halifax Health. Mr. Eby. If you can just turn on your mic, please. Please.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, for having me here this evening. I'm here to give an update on the Halifax Health UF Health Medical Center of Deltona. It's been over a year since my last update here, so a lot has happened in the past year. But I wanted to start out by giving a bit of history and kind of setting the stage for those who may not know how we ended up here, what we do as an organization, and the benefits that we're bringing to the city of Deltona and West Volusia residents. Is there another button? So I always like to start out with our mission. Just not working? All right, I'll go without it for now. So our mission at Halifax is to be the community healthcare leader, and we do that with the exceptional talent of our staff to bring superior patient-centered care and to do that in a financially sustainable manner. And we've been doing that now for 98 years. That's what continues to allow us to provide care in the community. And we've opened our hospital in 1928 in Daytona Beach, and when that happened, it happened as a result of a group of residents from Volusia County that went to Tallahassee to advocate for healthcare services. And in doing that, it created the Halifax Health District, which still exists today. And that's been there now for almost 100 years. And over the last 100 years, we've grown into the healthcare system that we are now. Are you able to advance the slides for me? I can just okay.
I apologize, Mr. Eby, and can we please stop his time while we get this rectified?
No problem. So over these last 100 years, we've continued to bring the highest level of specialties to the area, the highest level of care. We've got the only level 2 trauma center. We've got the highest home health agency, the highest level of hospice care. So when presented with the need for those levels of services, I always like to make sure that people request Halifax Health just so they're receiving the highest level of care. Here we go. Thank you. So the next slide shows some of what I was just referencing. So these are just a sampling of some of the highest level of care that we provide in Volusia County that we now have access to for the residents of Deltona. And the next slide shows a list of specialties that we offer. So all of these specialties are available at Halifax Health. Many of them we're now bringing to the Medical Center of Deltona. We're adding new services every year and bringing that. And in partnership with UF Health, we're now able to offer many of the specialties on the right side. Also. The next slide shows the number of patients that we care for in a one-year period. So just to show the number of lives that we touch throughout the county. The next slide just shows some of the awards that we've won in stroke care at the Medical Center of Deltona. We're now a primary stroke center and received the Gold Plus certification from the American Heart Association in our first year. The next slide is our locations. So here, we're talking about the Medical Center of Deltona, but we have 3 full-service hospitals across the county. But we're so much more than just what happens in the walls of our hospitals. The next slide outlines our continuum of care. And the primary care that we offer, pediatric services, our express care locations, if we can go to the next slide, and rehabilitation services, our home health and hospice agency that I mentioned. So just we're out in the community, touching the lives of people in their homes, and caring for them in many different stages outside of our hospitals also. Some of the new things we've had in the past year, we opened the Neuroscience Center of Excellence. We've expanded our partnership with Brooks Rehabilitation in all of our locations, and added some new surgical services also. We've also added some freestanding emergency departments. We're starting to use that strategy to reach more people and extend our services to them. Then we get to the Medical Center of Deltona. So I wanted to go through all of that history just to show how we got here. And 10 or so years ago, we were invited to come to West Volusia to provide a choice in healthcare services to the residents of Deltona. And 6 years ago last week, we celebrated our 6-year anniversary at the Medical Center of Deltona, and continue to add new services every year. You can see the need. Just since inception, we've seen over 155,000 patients in our emergency room and admitted over 12,000 and done over 9,000 surgeries. So the need for these services were there. So thank you for the invitation to come, and we're so happy to be here. Just in the last year, we've added so many new services. So we added the Cancer Center for Hope. We've added pulmonology function testing. We became a primary stroke center. We added pain medicine. We became a bariatric center of excellence. All of this is specifically at the Medical Center of Deltona. And this year, we're planning to add neurosurgery, urology, interventional cardiology, and pediatric primary care. So those are all new specialties that we've recruited, and we'll be adding those services within the next year. Then we're also growing and expanding, and I know some of you have been there for a tour to see our construction. So we're growing by adding 19 new emergency department rooms, so we'll have a 30-bed emergency department here in Deltona. We're adding 47 new inpatient beds, which will grow our capacity to 90 inpatient beds in our hospital. And then when those beds all fill up in the next couple of years, which they will, we can add 3 more stories on top of our tower to double again and become a 180-bed inpatient hospital, and then plans to expand further and further, and we'll keep you updated on all of that also. The next few slides just show some of what we're expanding. So what's in that red square is the new space in our emergency department. The next slide just shows some before and during pictures. We actually now have the floor in, the walls are up and painted, the ceiling is in. We're getting ready to equip it, and the emergency department will be operational as soon as we get ACA certification, which should be sometime in March, and will be operational in April. The next slide shows our 4th floor, which is our intensive care unit. The grayed area are the 13 beds that exist today. The colored area are the 17 additional intermediate beds that we're adding. And then the next slide is our 6th floor, which was vacant and now has 30 inpatient beds. Next slide just shows, again, some before and during pictures of all of that. And then I wanted to end on this next slide, which shows the recognition that we've received from our community here in Deltona with the Best of Deltona awards that occurred a couple of months ago. We were voted the best healthcare facility, the best surgical center, and then a couple of our physicians, Dr. Amin, one of our primary care providers, and Dr. Rhodes, one of our orthopedic surgeons, were voted the best in their categories also. So it's a great partnership that we have with the city of Deltona. We're so happy to be here and to be growing with you. It's a growing community. A lot of exciting things happening in the city of Deltona, and we're so happy to be a part of that. So thank you for allowing us to give this update tonight.
Vice Mayor Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. Ben, thank you so much. 6 years already. I remember the first day you opened, and it was awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your expansion to the ER, which is much needed in our city. And of course, for the inpatient, the additional rooms that you've added. That's going to be a tremendous help in this community. And for all the services and new services that you're bringing to the city, especially the pediatric care part.
Excited for that.
Thank you also for, because I know I've visited that place with my grandkids plenty of times. So thank you so much. But I also wanted to say a special thank you because not only do you're here in our community, but you're really here in our community. And what I mean when I say that is that you give back to our community. You've given back to our back to school fair. You've given back to our festivals and events in our community. So I wanted to personally thank you for being part of our community. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Santiago.
Commissioner Nabik?
Thank you, Mayor. I have been in your facility numerous times and received, I think, probably some of the best care that I've ever had in my life. My previous history in the fire service and that, and I can tell you that my son works for the fire service, and we have many friends. The people in the ED go above and beyond on a daily basis. Certainly, currently with the current state of health care and health insurance, the system is strained. They're continuously on bed delays, not only at your facility, but all the facilities throughout the Central Florida area. So this expansion is extremely critical at this time to manage patient care. I would request that you strongly look at expanding pediatrics, particularly in the ED. There's nothing worse for a mother and father than to bring their kid into the emergency room, and that environment there, the colors of the walls, the characters that are placed on the walls, the specific nurses that have that special training to work with pediatrics. I would just continue to encourage you to expand on a job that you do very well and make it great, because that is Halifax. That is what you stand for, and we're very proud to have you in our city. And I was there when we turned the first shovel of dirt for the freestanding emergency room, and anything we can do to help Halifax grow and continue to serve our community, this commission stands behind you, and we appreciate all you do for us on a daily basis.
Thank you, Commissioner Novick. I appreciate that feedback.
And what more can I say, right, to add to what everybody said? Very grateful that you're obviously in our community. Every time you guys try to do something to expand, I always get a call from you. Always well received, from your staff. Never a doubt on that. Ramo's very gracious every time I see him. Some of the other people that are there. So thank you for that. Thank you for always including all of us up here in everything you're doing. I'm very happy to hear some of my fellow commissioners talk about pediatrics, but more importantly, I'm happy to actually see that as part of your presentation. I look forward to the day where I can say Halifax brought that first children's hospital to Deltona. You weren't going to get away from that. So thank you. On a serious note, though, thank you. I think we have the largest child population in the county, and I think it's very important. And obviously, you guys are recognizing it, right? So thank you for all you guys are doing. And like everybody else up here has already said, whatever you need from us, we're here to help any way we can. So thank you for that.
Appreciate the support.
All right, next up, we have presentation from the Volusia Sheriff's Office, end of the year review, presented by Captain McKnight. I'd also like to take a minute to recognize that our constitutional officer, Sheriff Chitwood, is in the chambers as well. So welcome, Sheriff Chitwood, to the chambers. He's being distracted over there by another rock star. Captain Omar, it's all yours.
All right, Captain Omar McKnight from here in District 4, which encompasses Deltona. Good evening. I'll do my best with this PowerPoint. Is it working? Right? All right, perfect. Gotcha. Well, thanks for joining us today as we do the city year in review for the City of Deltona's progress and achievements for the year of 2025. This presentation is going to highlight our commitment to the public safety, community engagement, and operational excellence through the efforts of the Volusia Sheriff's Office. We'll explore some key crime statistics, traffic enforcement data, and the impact of programs like our CompStat models and our VSO Academy that started in 2021. Most importantly, we'll showcase how our vision, built on accountability, technology, servant leadership, and diversity, continues to guide our mission in serving and protecting the community. So, going too fast. So our mission statement here at the Sheriff's Office is to protect and serve with courage, honor, and integrity by fighting crime, maintaining trust, and building community partnerships. As you can see by the vision statement, I've already kind of touched on our accountability, technology, servant leadership, diversity, inclusion, and core values. So when I talk about stats here for the year of 2025, when I talk about Group A stats, that pretty much encompasses all of the crimes here, which is all the violent crime and major crime we have. So our CompStat model, one more. Okay, so we have weekly CompStat meetings, and we discuss the flow of information between all the agencies, which really helps us if we have crime trends that happen in Daytona, in Deltona, in DeLand. So it really helps us fight the crime. And there's 4 pillars of CompStat, which we preach every day to our deputies, to our sergeants, and then in the meetings, we actually focus on all 4 of these pillars. Timely and accurate intelligence, rapid deployment of resources, effective tactics, and relentless follow-up. If you do all 4 of these tactics on every case, you'll solve 80% of them, which is what we do. So we'll get into kind of the numbers. So for Group A, our clearance rate was almost 80% for here in Deltona. For the Sheriff's Office as a whole, it was 80% as well. So we were right up with our agency average. So 2024 had 76, almost 77%, so we increased it by 4%, and the national average is 41%, so we're double the national average for clearance rate here in Deltona. I want to kind of give you some stats for the county-wide for our agency. We had almost 11,000 arrests in the county, almost 1,300 narcotics-related arrests, and I already touched on our 80% clearance rate. For drug seizures in the county, we had almost 1,800 grams of fentanyl, which is enough for 1.2 million doses of fentanyl. 17,000 grams of cocaine, 27,000 grams of methamphetamine. We did a total of 89 narcotics-related search warrants, and 247 arrests were made by our narcotics unit. A couple things for technology that we've done. Actually, before I touch on technology, I want to touch on we have a financial crimes unit that started in September of 2024. Since that unit has started, they've recovered $1.5 million of victims' money, which is huge. Technology-wise, we have live 911 in every patrol car, which means if they're in a close proximity of when a 911 call comes in, that 911 call is actually in their patrol car, and they can hear it before it's even dispatched. So we can respond to calls and hear what's going on from the 911 line before we get there. That's been huge. We have started an AI answering service. If you call our non-emergency number for the communication center, it's an AI-related or AI answering service, but it's very human-like. It's not like talking like press 1 this, press 2 for this. It's very engaging. If it realizes it's an emergency, it flips it right over to a call taker. So that's been huge. That's been huge for us. We have our own NIBIN machine, which is like fingerprints for guns. So anytime we recover any shell casings from any shootings in the county, we can process those and get a match within hours. And before we had to send it to FDLE, which took months. So that was huge for us. We already touched on the clearance rates. Oh, back one. For traffic stats, I know this is a big complaint we get on a daily basis. For crashes for the year, we had 1,400 crashes. We did a total of 116 DUIs. Citations, we did over 13,000 citations for the year. When it says step assignments, we did 20 of them, and that's selective traffic enforcement. What that means is if somebody calls and says, hey, in this certain area we're getting a traffic-related issue, from 5 to 7 p.m. on the street, we'll put up a step program, and we'll hit it hard for a week or 2 weeks or however long. So we had 20 of those throughout the year. We had 6 traffic operations, and like I said, 13,000 citations. That's a lot for the city. So what we did for this year, to kind of recap, is we wanted to put an emphasis on deputies that we've hired that came from Deltona, that grew up here and are giving back to the community by working for the Sheriff's Office, but they want to work here in Deltona. And the city would kind of capture
Patrolling Deltona isn't just our job, it's our home. Meet some of our hometown deputies who grew up in District 4 and now defend these streets and still live in the community they proudly protect.
My name is Ryan Mills. I'm a lieutenant with the Volusia Sheriff's Office, and I've been with the agency over 25 years now.
I'm Sergeant Brandon King. I've been employed at the Sheriff's Office since March 23rd of 2015.
Deputy Westbrook. I've been with the Sheriff's Office now for 6 years.
I'm Deputy Sean Craddock, and I've been with the agency for about 3.5 years.
I am Deputy Jose Rivera. I'm currently with the agency for 3 years. I've lived in Deltona for the past 16 years.
Senior Deputy AJ Davis, and I've been with the agency for 14 years.
My name is Deputy Santiago, and I've been with the Volusia Sheriff's Office for almost 4 years now.
I'm Deputy Evan Prado, and I've been with the Sheriff's Office for 6 years.
Hey, I'm Deputy Ortiz. I've been with the Volusia Sheriff's Office for about 3.5 years now. I grew up in the city of Deltona, and I think it's been a huge advantage to have grown up here and already known some of the problems that are privy to this area, to be able to now focus on them as a deputy and make a real effort to change things.
For growing up in this area, I know this area like the back of my hand. I've been on nearly every single side street, every main road.
If I have a call, especially in the north end of the city where I was raised, I don't need a map to get around. Deltona's a city of noodles when it comes to their streets, so knowing your way around is a giant, giant help.
Hi. I've been just stabbed. The deputy in the area was able to get to the teen within 2 minutes of the call and start aid on him.
I think the benefits of living where I currently patrol is obviously knowing the citizens, getting on a personal level with them, and honestly trying to go above and beyond with the people that I serve next to and currently live next to.
Yeah, this is his dad.
Thank you guys, man. Yes.
We're good.
Oh, man. This is cold. We have the fire department. How funny.
Hey, why don't we put him in a car with the heat real quick? Yeah. He's got to be cold.
Oh, God.
Man, this is it, right? 4 years. You guys worked your 4 years. This is your senior year. This is the time to let it all out on the field, man. Tonight starts an incredible season. Start strong, finish strong, and bring the W back. Yeah, man. God bless you guys.
It's a lot easier to see it from the perspective of living in the area or growing up in the area, where you know the concerns of the people. People talk to you candidly, like you're a neighbor.
My first assignment on the road was here in Deltona. From being in road patrol in Deltona, I went on to criminal investigations in Deltona. And then later on, when I was putting in for promotion, I came back to Deltona. And
it's super beneficial knowing the people in your area, the businesses, the schools, and everything like that.
The fact that there are so many people over here to help you out, obviously team camaraderie, that kind of stuff. I love knowing the roads, knowing the people, and overall, I just think this is the best district to work in.
It's big enough where every day is not going to be the same. You got close people on your shift. There's a bunch of people on one shift that you can get close with and just have really good bonds with people. And
I know the people here. I grew up with a lot of the folks here. A lot of them know me, so it's very nice when they see a familiar face as a law enforcement officer. It allows them to open up to me and talk to me, see me as a human being.
Family that still lives here, and being able to actually help them out, as well as other citizens who I did grow up with, is a great plus for me to be in the city.
I feel like I'm making a difference in the community that I grew up in, and I'm giving back to the place that I call home.
So I just want to highlight, 2021 is when we established our own training academy here. And since that time, we have 21 recruits that have lived here in the city and that we've hired and gone through our academy. One other thing I want to highlight, in 2024, we had the initial accreditation for our training academy, and we became the 36th agency in the world and 24th in the U.S. to receive the prestigious Triarch Award, which accredits us in law enforcement, communications, and also our training center. So that was huge for us. So in conclusion, I just want to emphasize that these numbers and initiatives represent more than just data. They reflect the dedication of our deputies and the strong partnerships we share with the community. From reducing crime and improving clearance rates to engaging with residents through programs and events, 2025 was a big year of progress and collaboration. And I want to thank you for your continued support and commitment to making Deltona a safer and stronger community. Together, we'll build on these successes and strive for even greater achievements in the year ahead. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Any questions for me?
Yes, Commissioner Harriet. and then Vice Mayor Avila Vasquez and Commissioner Santiago.
Captain, thank you very much, and thank you for highlighting the dedication that you and the men and women of District 4 have for the city. I think that successful law enforcement starts with community, and that is something that we absolutely have here. And so thank you for that. And Sheriff Chitwood, thank you very much for your leadership behind all of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Vice Mayor Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, you know, recently we had a really ugly situation in the city of Deltona with some neighbors. And I want to thank you for your quick response to my email. And I want to thank Lieutenant Omar for his quick response. He did not wait a day. That same night, he acted to the complaint. And the neighbors still talk about it. And they still remember Lieutenant Omar and Sergeant Knight. So thank you so much. I also want to thank the Sheriff's Department because not only do you guys, respond to crimes and stuff like that, but in my experience, you have always been in the front and always said yes to helping local organizations do fundraising, doing bike rides and stuff like that. And because of your support, these organizations have been able to bring back to the community. So I want to thank you for all of that. Thank you, Sheriff Chitwood, for never saying no to these requests. And we look forward to seeing you on the Veterans Stand Down. Thank you so much again, and God bless. Stay safe.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Commissioner Santiago,
Thank you, Mayor.
and then Commissioner Navik.
Sheriff, if you could come to the podium. Don't think you can hide. Don't think you can hide back there. Same thing as Vice Mayor and Harriet. Thank you so much. I've actually been on a ride-along, my first ride-along with the Crime Suppression Unit. And oh my gosh, let me tell you something. They're awesome. They prevent crimes, right? That's their job. And our city is safer because of them and because of all of you. Captain, thank you to all law enforcement here in Deltona. Especially, I love the fact that you hire from our city as well. And I just want to say thank you to the captain. Thank you, Sheriff Chitwood. Appreciate it for everything you do in keeping us safe in our community.
I want to thank you for saying that. And, we can't do it without your support. I mean, really, without your support, it means nothing. But if you remember, when I got elected in 2016, I said we were going to make Deltona the jewel of the sheriff's office. Every piece of new technology that we get comes here first.
Awesome.
Whether you pay, it comes here. And the fact that we're now out trying to bring as many kids who grew up here and went to school here into the sheriff's office so they can come back and work in the city that they were born and raised in is our ultimate goal. But thank you so much for the support.
Thank you.
Commissioner Navik.
Thank you, Mayor. Sheriff, when I was on the commission the last time, the country was going through a lot of active shooter situation in the schools and that, and I sat right in this room with you and said, hey, we need to do an active shooter activity at one of our schools. And you immediately that day called your team together, and within a matter of months, we had an active shooter training session taking place in our community with everybody that's involved in all of that. And that's just one of hundreds of things that you've done for our community. The community policing, I've seen deputies playing basketball with kids on the streets here, not just in Deltona, you do that all over the place, but I've personally witnessed it in Deltona. And earning the community's respect, and especially the young people, the juveniles, stopping them before they become career criminals, and now this recruiting program and hiring our own kids from the high schools and getting them into your academy. That's just an awesome job, and that just speaks volumes as to you being our sheriff and the technology you bring to our community and to our entire county. And it's reflected in every single one of your deputies that's here. I'm very proud of you and all you've accomplished for us. Thank you.
Thank you. It's hard to compete with the fire department, I want you to know. So just so you know.
Well, your guys did try that the other day, and they kind of showed the boys up.
We
So
did.
They did
Mayor,
an awesome job.
I will share this with you. It's not for publication. Nothing is. But that Campus Guardian drone program, when this school year coming up, when they do a pilot program, I'm 99% sure it's going to be Deltona High. Because when they come in, we think that's the perfect school to have that. And we're one of only 3 counties in the state that got the money for that pilot program. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And listen, how you delineate between the two, it's Big Omar and Little Omar. Thank you, folks. Have a great night. Thank you.
So hold on. We still got one more. I gotta just say, so obviously Chitwood comes out in I'm not gonna say a law firm, but in a law firm's advertising. And every time my little girl sees him, it's like, look, it's her sheriff. And she's only 4 years old. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy. So she wants to be a deputy when she grows up. I
have a contract for you to sign. She can't go anywhere else.
So I look forward to that. Yeah. I just want you to touch on one little thing because, I say this to everybody, not because I live here, but our Volusia County Sheriff's deputies really are the best, in my opinion, in the whole state, right? Unfortunately, I know that some new legislation or whatever the heck happened, the way our crime is reported is now obviously it gets exploited by whoever always has an issue with the city. But for example, if somebody in the past would have broke into a house, stole a car, and then saw a little gnome that the neighbor had and stole that would have in the past been considered one crime. Apparently now that's equal to like 3 or 4 different crimes. So I want our residents to understand that that's the difficulty you guys are facing, because while our crime honestly is low, it reflects a little bit differently because of that change.
What we are trying to do, and it's extremely manpower intensive, is what you bring up, every city brings up. We're trying to still do the old form so that we can show you this is the number of homicides, this is the number of stolen cars, and then show you with the new system that this is what it inflates everything. So I'll let you take it from there.
I'll do my best to explain it on the spot here. So we used to go through what's called UCR, which is Uniform Crime Reporting. That's what the FBI used. Well, they changed that to what's called NIBRS, which is it's Incident-Based Reporting is what that stands for. So before, if you would have broke into a house, stole a car, used a credit card somewhere else, that'd be one incident. But now it would be breaking into the house is one burglary, then you have an auto theft, which is a second incident, a fraud, which is a third incident, and then if you just stole something on the way out, that's a 4th incident. So you have 4 incidents, it's 4 different reports or incidents that are reported versus just one. So now you've got 4x for one single crime, which we had before. So while compared to like 2022, we're way up in crime, compared to last year, we're down in crime. So that's how it works.
Got it. Well, Vice Mayor still has a question. I want to say thank you guys for all you guys do. Personally, I can't thank you enough for the way you police our community, the way you treat our community, for always being involved in our community. And as the parent of someone that really is not afraid of our deputies, it means a lot that my little girl knows that she can approach you guys and know that she looks up to, obviously she looks up to our sheriff, but that she knows that she has people she can trust and isn't afraid of. So, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to remind everyone of something that people probably don't know, that the Sheriff's Department has a program called Shopping with the Deputies, and it's during Christmas time. And how many children, how many cards, Christmas cards did you guys give out this year?
We did probably, Carla's going to kill me, there's probably 750 or more kids. Because not only do we do Shop with a Deputy, but you saw this photo, we get other families that may call 911, or the kid might call 911 and say, hey, Santa Claus left one toy. Mm-hmm. We have toys and toy bags that we can go out on. Or somebody calls us during Christmas week and says, hey, this family's not going to call you. You might want to make an appearance. So it was over 750 kids. And we can't do that without the support of the community. I mean, it's not like we in government can do it. It's the community coming forward saying, hey, what do you need to make this happen? And it has grown leaps and bounds. My first year might have been 25 families. Now, like I said, we're pushing over 1,000 kids.
And I want everyone to know that what was left over from whatever the Sheriff's Department collected, that's what was given, part of what was given out here in the city of Deltona during Three Kings Festival. They brought a half a truck full of toys and stuff to give out. And I also want to say that some of the carriages that came to the register have food in it. Some of the kids chose to allow their parents to fill the carriages with food. And what the sheriff's department did was pay for the food and then said, here's another car, go take the child shopping for their toys now.
Thank you for that. It's our honor. It really is an honor to serve this community. And Mayor, I can tell you, your daughter's fascinated by the big nose and the mustache. That's what it is.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Likewise. All right, we're gonna. By the way, that was the tallest Santiago I've seen yet. So we're gonna go ahead and move to Miss Barker for community events.
Okay, we have a few things coming up over the next couple weeks. First of all, we have our movie in the park. It's this Friday night. It's over at Dewey. This month we're showing How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version. Movie's going to start around 6:30 or whenever it gets dark enough. As always, it's free, and there's free popcorn and lemonade as long as supplies last for that. And that's Friday night. And then our next event is on Sunday. It's our Love Your Heart race. It's always been a 5K in the past. This year we're doing a 5K and a 10K. There's still time to sign up, so there's a QR code there. Sign up if you'd like to participate. Our next event is it's March 5th, I believe. Yeah, it's a Thursday. It's a senior day trip to the Strawberry Festival in Plant City. The seats are limited, so if you think you might want to go, I would sign up now. Again, there's a QR code. The bus is going to leave City Hall at 7:30. It'll get back here around 6 o'clock. The cost is $65 per person. And that includes the bus ride. It includes admission to the festival. It includes a concert at the festival. So like I said, spots are limited. They usually go fast, so sign up now if you'd like to participate. And then this is actually an event that's towards the end of March, but I wanted to start talking about it now because this is huge. It's Volusia County Veteran Services is holding their annual Veteran Stand Down. They usually do it in Daytona, but they're doing it on the west side of the county this year, and they chose Deltona. It's going to be at the center. It's March 20th and 21st, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is they help hundreds of veterans every year with benefits and career services, housing assistance. They'll be giving away food and clothing for those who need it. Like I said, that's a great event. I put a bunch of flyers on the back table there, so if anybody wants to grab one, do so. And then I did want to mention one more event. The Lyonia Environmental Center is holding their Wildlife Festival this Saturday. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Lyonia Center, and that's next to the library. So, and again, as always, if any community organizations.
All right, is there a second, Commissioner Harriet?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion for B through E with A being pulled. Is there any public comments on consent agenda? No public comments. All right. Can we please go ahead and go with the vote? Motion passes 6-0. Commissioner Howington, you have the floor on 7A.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that the meeting minutes from February 2nd do not reflect my opposition to the continuation of the meeting. And then on February 9th, there is no notification regarding the residents' public comment, nor the opposition to the continuation of the meetings as well.
So noted. Commissioner Harriet?
I can make a motion to approve consent agenda item letter A.
There's a motion by Commissioner Harriet to approve 7A. Is there a second? Commissioner Santiago?
Second.
All right, can we please vote? Motion passes 5-2. At this time, we're going to go into ordinances and public hearings. There's none. We're going to go to action items, which is 9A. And it's a request for approval of resolution number 2026-11. If I can please have the city attorney read it. And then we'll entertain a motion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, we have a resolution number 2026-11. This is a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, authorizing the city attorney to proceed with foreclosure of outstanding municipal liens at 779 Tulip Street, Deltona, Florida, authorizing representation through city attorney's office and outside legal counsel, providing for implementation and an effective date. I'm happy to discuss, but effectively this is a case that has been pending for a while, and as a result, we are planning to move forward with the foreclosure with the commission's
Thank you.
approval.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion and then a second so we can enter into conversation. Commissioner Novick?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 2026-11.
Commissioner Santiago?
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Novick, second by Commissioner Santiago. Is there any public comment? No public comment. Can we please move forward with the vote? Motion passes 6-0. This time we'll go into action items 9B as in boy. If I can please have the city attorney.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. This is resolution number 2026-12, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, authorizing the purchase of certain real property located west of Captain Drive, north of Snow Drive, and south of Whitehorse Street in the City of Deltona, Florida, identified by Volusia County Parcel ID 813-035-000-100, as more particularly described herein, providing for adoption of recitals, implementation, severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion and a second. Commissioner Novick?
I move to approve resolution 2026-12.
Commissioner Harriet? Commissioner Harriet?
Second.
All right, there's a motion by Commissioner Novick, second by Commissioner Harriet. Is there any public comment? All right, can we please vote? Motion passes 6-0. This time, we're going to go into action items 9C as in Charlie. If I can please have the city attorney read the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is resolution number 2026-10, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, authorizing participation in the litigation styled Denise Magliotti versus City of Deltona, authorizing representation through city attorney's office and outside legal counsel, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
Commissioner Harriet, I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I'd like to make a motion to approve
There's-
item 9C.
There's a motion by Commissioner Harriet. Commissioner Santiago.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. Any public comment? Thank you so much. Can we please vote? Motion passes 6-0. All right, we're going to go into city attorney comments.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. We have just two things tonight. The first one is just a request for direction from the commission. On January 23rd, 2026, the city attorney's office sent a notice to cease and desist to Mr. Jason Voles. The notice advised Mr. Voles to retract certain false, misleading, and defamatory statements related to the city's potable water supply and to cease making these false, misleading, and defamatory statements. Mr. Voles has not only failed to issue a retraction, he's continued to make additional statements in violation of the city's notice to cease and desist. Because Mr. Voles has failed to comply with the terms of the notice, the city attorney's office is now seeking direction from the city commission on whether to initiate litigation. If the commission directs our office to move forward, we will prepare a resolution authorizing the litigation and place it on the next available city commission agenda.
Vice Mayor Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. So I have a question for legal. We know that there's a lot of residents that have stood at that podium with the same complaints, the same comments. So did County Chair Jeff Brower. Are we sending a letter like this to all these people as well? And are we asking them to stop criticizing the city's water? Or is it just one particular person?
Vice Mayor, that's a little bit of a more complicated question to address, but let me just address it sort of globally. When there is potential for public safety challenges, so someone who is inciting the public in an area that could cause a panic about safe water, particularly if that person has taken steps to become a public figure, elevate their status to become a public figure, and they are publicly declaring things that are not only untrue, but could cause a panic. With respect to public safety, particularly with water, it's an issue that candidly cannot wait. There are other instances when cease and desists are sent, typically, a violation of someone is using the city's logo without authority, or, saying the city is, I'm representing the city when they're not. But this particular circumstance involved a person who has elected to become a public figure, making statements that were untrue and that were false in a public platform on a topic that can can incite panic. And municipal water is an important topic in that most people cannot afford bottled water. Families, children, the elderly, hospitals, all use our municipal water supply. And so if someone is saying that the potable water that comes out of everyone's tap is not safe to drink, it's serious, it cannot wait, and partly it's a topic that, candidly, from our side, we have a civil position. But there's potential other ramifications that other agencies might pursue. So the inciting of panic among the public and topics of public safety is problematic. And this particular incident candidly did incite some panic, which is how we found out about it. So because of that, the letter was sent. Certainly, a cease and desist notice is a warning, advising someone to stop their behavior and making a recommendation to do so. And it really is our only notice that we're required to send. At that point, if we want to move forward, if you all as a commission elect to move forward with further steps, you can. You certainly don't have to, but this is different than a person just standing on the street corner in front of the library or in a park and screaming and waving a sign. It's a different situation. It's even different than here, because here we can address it. We can respond and say, no, our water is safe. Our water is safe to drink. It was the means of communication. It was the public figure who was making that communication. And it was the really extreme communication itself, which said the water of Deltona is not safe to drink.
No different than what everyone else that has come to this podium has stated, even at last night's workshop. And I'm not trying to defend anybody. I'm trying to defend everybody, because everybody feels the same way. So as far as a person who is trying to reach a different level, we have our county chair making the same comments. So are we saying that we are going to send him an email or a letter as well? Because he is an elected official who is talking about our waters not being safe. So these are things and questions that I'm being asked by residents, so I need to bring them out in the open so that residents know that I'm not trying to protect the city and not playing it safe for the residents, and that I'm allowing residents to drink unhealthy water. This is why I'm bringing this up, because I know where minds are going right now, and it's not true. I'm just asking the questions because they were asking me. So they want to know what's the difference between one person and the other person if they're both saying the same thing.
So, Vice Mayor, that's a great question and a great point. I will say this, if the commission directs us to take action towards the county chairman, happy to do so. We would need to read what he wrote.
But we weren't asked if you could take actions against that one particular resident.
That's correct, because when we read what he wrote, it was false, misleading, defamatory, and it was an issue of public safety. So, and again, we were made aware on a Friday night. I was getting calls of people in a panic, right? So I didn't receive any calls from the chairman of the county. If I had, certainly, and we were made aware of some sort of panic, people going into the weekend. I mean, and frankly, honestly, the circumstances could have been, if it was Monday morning, we probably would have just, we might have tried to call a special meeting, but it was Friday night, we're heading into a weekend, and someone who is a public figure by choice is saying the Deltona water, the only city in Deltona, the water is unsafe, is in violation of law. I mean, I'm happy to, I don't really want to get into it, I'm happy to get into it, but the statements were demonstrably false. And here's the thing, we notified him, and when you send a cease and desist, and we provided information that we received from staff and compliments to the water department, they jumped on it, they got us the information quickly, because certainly we're not technical, we don't know the numbers in the water. They provided us the information and they said, these are the facts, these are the real facts. And when you send a cease and desist, particularly, I mean, we didn't publish it in the newspaper. We sent it to this gentleman and said, the information you're publicly stating about a public safety issue in our city is false. Here's the correct information, and we provided it. So certainly a helpful choice might be to say, that was a mistake, I made a mistake. The accurate information is XYZ. This is what the city has provided, XYZ. This is the truth. This is the true information. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Honestly, these types of circumstances are so fact specific. Because if it had been a Monday morning, we likely would have called everyone to try to get a special meeting. It was the time, it was the manner, it was the person, it was the fact that it was a Friday night going into a weekend. And again, I routinely am not getting panicked phone calls about the water supply at Friday night, ever, really. And so all those factors together, I mean, you know, I sent the letter at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, again, it's Friday night, I'm with my family. I stopped what I was doing. I'm rolling calls. People are worried about the drinking water that we all drink out of our taps. It's honestly, it was very fact specific. So,
but I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your answers, and because, I think it's better when the residents hear from legal instead of thinking that we're making up the answers. So the reason why I'm asking you is so the people that were asking me can hear it directly from legal. And thank you for answering the question. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Santiago, then Commissioner Howington.
Yes, and this question is to the city manager. Is it my understanding that I did see that there was a video out there that was two videos put together with false information?
Yes, Commissioner. Apparently he did. Took a presentation that I put out and didn't cut and paste sentences. He actually cut and pasted portions of a sentence to make it look like I said something the absolute opposite of what I said. That was about a week after he received the cease and desist. He took a city video, cut and pasted to make it look like we are trying to make people drink poopy water, and that's not true whatsoever. So, and he did it again, I believe, last night, a second time.
So that's the difference between the other complaints that we receive and other people, is that this gentleman who spreads lies about our city water is not stopping, even after we sent him a cease and desist letter. So therefore, I make the motion to go ahead and whatever you need done to give him to the attorneys. If you want to go ahead and move forward, I make that motion.
There's a motion by Commissioner Santiago. There's 3 people still on the board out of the 3 who wants to do the second, because I know Commissioner Howington, you were up before the motion came up. No, Commissioner Harriet? Second. There's a second by Commissioner Harriet. All right, are you done, Commissioner Santiago? All right, Commissioner Howington, and then Commissioner Novick.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a concern because I watched the first video because I had heard behind the scenes that there was a lot of conversation taking place, and I asked for help understanding what our project was. And I was kind of put off at the time because they wanted to know who was asking the question. It shouldn't matter. And then, yes, to the Vice Mayor's point, we have a lot of people out there saying a lot of things, and I'm very confused still as to what is happening with our project. I started receiving panicked phone calls after the first video that the city manager did that specifically said that we would be injecting into the upper aquifer where we get our drinking water from. That's not a clip. That was not a cut and paste. That was a video that very specifically stated exactly what the accusation was by this person. Then there was a follow-up video, which further led to additional questions for me. So I have some very severe concerns. We have a lot of people out there talking about our water, talking about, we're in the middle of a PFAS settlement. Well, maybe that's not a regulatory requirement, but our levels exceed what they recommend. So I do have serious concerns about moving forward with this. I mean, there's a video. I can't refute it. I can pull it up right now and play the video that specifically says we're injecting into the upper aquifer. That's not a cut and paste. It is a city video. So, I mean, I'm very concerned because it seems like a lot of cease and desist orders have been issued recently over the past several months, and it seems to be to political opponents of the city or people who are extremely vocal against the city. And I do have very serious concerns about that. Obviously, if we have a problem that needs to be addressed, that's one thing. But it just seems to be that there might be a consistency here in the people who are receiving these letters versus the ones who are not. Thank you.
Commissioner Novick.
Thank you, Mayor. You cannot walk into a movie theater and scream fire. Essentially, that's what this action has done. I support Commissioner Santiago's motion to move forward with this. If for no other reason, it puts it into the proper venue to be adjudicated and for a decision to be made on facts, not on emotions. It takes it off of this dais. It allows us to move forward with our business and not get bogged down in he said, she said, whatever. By having legal move it to the judicial system, it resolves the issue no matter which way it falls. I call the question, Mayor.
All right, City Attorney, do you need a simple majority, or do you need me to go and have a verbal vote and public comment drawn?
This is going to come back as a resolution for the next
So
meeting.
it's a simple majority?
So a simple majority to prepare the resolution for the next agenda.
All right, do you want to just do roll call really quick, please? Joyce, go ahead, thank you.
Commissioner Harriet? Yes. Commissioner Howington?
Yes.
Commissioner Novick?
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago? Yes. Vice Mayor Vila Vasquez?
No.
Mayor Vila?
Yes.
Five one.
Thank you. What was the second, you had a second topic?
We just wanted to, obviously, we're still in legislative session. There's a lot of things that are moving forward. We would certainly urge you all to continue to stay active with our State House and Senate representatives. You know, we obviously, I went to support the mayor when he was lobbying for 2 city projects in Tallahassee, and I think that the city has a very good advocate in the mayor, but I want to encourage all of you to advocate, to go to Tallahassee, to meet with them when they're here in town, because the only way to move our projects forward and to get the legislation we want and to stop preemption as much as we can is to get in front of them. So I think you all do an incredible job of that. I would just urge you to continue. I also did want to let you know that at this point, it does not seem like there's a fix for Senate Bill 180 that's going to be in this session. We're continuing as much as we can to push for a solution, but at this point in the session, and there's still time, it does not appear that there's going to be a fix. So we just wanted to give everyone a heads up, because it likely will mean another good period of time where we're living under Senate Bill 180 and having to be responsive to that. So just wanted to update you on those things. And thank you all for your continued advocacy for the city.
Thank you. City manager comments?
All right, three quick things. One is to follow up Ms. Barr's question I wanted to say at the last couple of meetings that were canceled. We talked about this before Christmas, about a dumpster at City Hall. I believe her point was Christmas boxes, people get TVs to bring cardboard boxes for recycling. I asked the question there, second floor City Hall, we had the conversation, was what happens to all the stuff inside, the styrofoam and the other things? What do you do with that? Well, that you would throw in the regular garbage, but you would bring the box to City Hall. I said, nobody's going to pull that stuff out. They're going to just bring the box full of everything else that's not recyclable here to City Hall. At that time, I also found out that they have done it in the past, which I believe was the answer to one of the questions. The problem with the past was it also explained or let us know it became a junkyard. When you have a dumpster out there for dumpster, it did not become just a recycling for boxes. It became mattresses or anything else, garbage bags. It just became, it was not a recycling for cardboard because nobody's out there to watch what's coming. So she was informed this several months ago, but that's the answer to the question of why we don't just put a dumpster in the back of City Hall. It was tried, didn't work, and to believe that people are just going to empty out all their boxes and throw a rest away in the street and then bring a box here is probably unlikely at this point. Two other quick workshop. After speaking with staff this morning, we discussed that there really wasn't anything further for the city commission regarding the utility rates discussed last night. So if it's all right with the commission, staff would like to have individual meetings with the mayor and each of the commissioners to answer any questions you may have, and then include the issue on the April 2nd agenda for the commission to discuss again privately or publicly at that point. Without any more information available from staff, having the commission discuss it on the agenda on April 2nd will allow a decision to be made as an action item at that moment, or if there's not a consensus, we can continue the item to another date to continue on. But like I said, if we're going to set up a workshop and there's nothing additional to be presented, it's just the commissioners having a discussion, which is pretty much what each agenda item is during a commission meeting. So just looking for any thoughts of that, of just putting on April 2nd. Each of you receive an email, the request to meet up with Jim, Glenn, and staff to go over, and John, to go over any discussions. So if that's
Commissioner Harriet?
April 2nd sounds great.
Any other commissioner on here? Vice Mayor, any thoughts? Commissioner Nabik?
Mayor, it was it was your request to do that. Are you okay with?
I'm okay with it, yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm fine with it.
all right. And then on the screen, glad to announce the city will be receiving an M114 command and reconnaissance carrier for our Veterans Park. The M114 is a Vietnam War era tracked armored fighting vehicle used by the United States Army. It was manufactured by the Cadillac Division of General Motors in the early 1960s. The M114 was designed to be fast and stealthy for use in reconnaissance role, and it was amphibious and could be deployed by parachute. Staff is currently working with the American Legion as to where in the park they would like to place this piece of equipment to be permanently displayed forever. So just good juju for the night. Thank you, Mayor.
Really quick, is that what it's going to look like when it's fully
It's all
restored?
finished. That, as well as we're looking to restore the helicopter and the howitzer that's over there. It's about 15 years since the park's received a new piece, so this is the beginning. Our plan is to bring a lot more pieces in to make it a great field trip for school kids as well as the community itself. So yes, it'll be fully restored.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions about this from anybody on the dais? No? All right. City Commission comments, requests, and reports. This time we're starting the other way around, so we'll start with Commissioner Nabik.
Thank you, Mayor. We approved a resolution tonight in support of the West Volusia Hospital Authority's clinic that is here in Deltona. It is a longstanding fixture in the community, providing services that many folks cannot afford. With the recent reduction in healthcare services, healthcare insurance, Medicaid for many of our residents, I don't think the clinic has even begun to see the amount of people that will potentially be using that service. So there is a meeting with the West Volusia Hospital Authority on February the 19th at 4 p.m. at the Sanborn Center in DeLand, where I believe the decision will be made by the authority as to whether or not to keep the clinic open or keep it closed. I am going to be in attendance at that meeting, speaking in favor of keeping the clinic open. And if the mayor can't be there, the vice mayor can't be there, I will be happy to present the resolution to the hospital authority. But I would encourage our residents to make their way there. You will be allowed 3 minutes to speak on the topic, and certainly any of the commissioners that can be there. This clinic does provide vital services to the underserved in our community, and we want to do everything we can to try and keep it open. Thank you, Mayor.
Would you like to request a letter of support since we passed it? And if it's the will of the commission, we can probably draw up a letter where either myself or Doc can sign it, and if you'd like to take that with you.
Yeah, we passed the resolution.
That's
I was
what I'm
going to
saying.
present the resolution, so if any of the commissioners wanted to write specific letters of support or whatever, I'd be happy to hand deliver those on your behalf. Commissioner Howington? The 19th at 4 p.m., February 19th at 4 p.m. at the Sanborn Center in DeLand. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Novick. Commissioner Caldwell's not here. Commissioner Howington.
Okay, I've received a concerning report from a resident that we have, and they were hoping that we might be able to look into it from a code compliance perspective. Apparently, we have several pools in the community where people are stringing lights about 3 to 4 feet above the surface of the pools. And I don't know how that can be dealt with, but I believe there's a restriction that string lights above a pool have to be at least 12.5 feet above the water. So I don't know what we can do, if this is a situation of education or if code compliance can check. I'm not sure how we go about it, but I think we need to look into it because it is a severe concern. I would hate to have a child or somebody have an accident. Thank you. Let's see. The lake level control elevation that we have for Lake Monroe, who sets that at 23.5 feet? Is that us, or is that actually St. John's Water Management District?
It's definitely St. John's at
Okay,
this point.
and we don't have any ability to ask them if we can change that level?
They have in the past, and I think we're getting more and more response now at this point due to the last couple of years of storms.
Okay.
In the past, they were good for 10 years of no issues, but at this point, so everybody knows, there is no water leaving the community. It's Mother Nature taking it away. So down at the out valve, the water is lower than the out valve. So we have gotten calls at City Hall to stop getting rid of the water out of our lakes. It's happening naturally. We're not able to physically move the water out, so.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We're still working on it to try to get it raised. We'd actually like, just as a side note, of moving the limits up to the upper lakes rather than at the bottom lake, because obviously as it comes across Catalina, that's the hot spot of that we should be measuring as opposed to waiting till it gets down to the bottom of the city, so.
Yeah, I actually had that resident, came in from a District 1 resident, so having it
Yeah.
further up the chain might
Thank
be
you for that.
helpful. Let's see. And then cup capacity and rezone, increasing densities and kind of how they impact each other. I was hoping to maybe get some more information at some point as to what happens with our current cup capacity. I believe we're at about 70-75%. And I was under the impression that that would cover our existing zoning, but what happens when we start rezoning? Are we risking taking away other people's rights, vested rights to use their property as they're currently zoned, by giving their water rights to somebody else by completing a rezone?
That's a very interesting question. We'll find out for you. Get a report together for the commission.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's-
Because I want to make sure that if we
Sure.
do rezones,
Makes sense.
we're not sabotaging somebody else's vested rights.
Correct.
Another thing is we've had commissioner comments, I think, one time since November, and it's been a symptom of reducing the meeting times down to 2.5 hours. We've had to actually extend the meeting a couple times. I'd like the commission to consider possibly removing that maximum time limit, just because our residents deserve redress. They come up, they ask us questions during public forum, and we can't respond to them during public forum, so our only time is during commissioner comments. And so I would like to make sure that we have the time to have proper redress with our residents. Is that something that the commission would consider?
You can ask the commission. I will just rebuttal that our residents always have the ability to reach out to us via email, phone number, text message, whatever. I'll ask the commission, but I'll also add that every single meeting we've been able to finish. So we'll go down the roll. If you want to go ahead and do another roll call, Joyce.
Commissioner Harriet? Commissioner Howington?
Yes.
Commissioner Novick? No. Commissioner Santiago?
No.
Vice Mayor Vila Vasquez?
Yes.
Mayor Vila?
No. Commissioner Howington, you still have the floor.
Okay, and then I'd like to make a public records request going forward that all of our public forums are recorded, because as we just heard today from our residents, we shouldn't be using social media to govern, and so I shouldn't have to go to social media to look at a video from a resident to remind myself what our residents had to say to us during public forum. And I know that we record them, so maybe they can just be attached to the meeting agendas, or you can send them to me and I'll distribute it as a public records request as a commissioner representing my residents. And that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Commissioner. Commissioner Santiago.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a few things, and I'll try to be as quickly as possible. The Pine Ridge High School, shout out to Pine Ridge High School on the Launch Credit Union branch that they just opened. Just an exciting business, having Launch Credit Union supporting our students. You know, it's all about our collaboration and our partnership with our businesses here in the city. And so I just wanted to give out, shout out to not only Pine Ridge High School, Launch Credit Union, but our Volusia Superintendent, Dr. Balgobin, for doing this collaboration together for our students here in Deltona. Also wanted to remind everyone about this Saturday, the Wildlife Festival at Lyonia Environmental Center, which is right here at the Deltona Library, starting at 10 a.m. A great event. I was there last year. Don't miss it. It's a free event. Also, the stand down for Volusia County is having the stand down. It's a little bit early, but we'll keep reminding everyone, March 20th through the 21st. I do want to give a special shout out to Jim, Glenn, and John for the wonderful presentation they made on the water and wastewater yesterday. Beautiful presentation, very professional, and a lot of detail. So thank you to them. What else? Want to thank Dana McCool for coming out today. Thank you for putting together that free helmet event. Even though we're still a little bit early, we'll give out some more information as we get closer. We'll be May 30th at Dewey Boster Park. And I also wanted to mention a little bit about what occurred yesterday at the workshop, which was to me very unacceptable. A citizen, Greg Gimbert, who does not live in Deltona, chose to address this commission in Spanish. And his friend and buddy, Jason Voles, recorded him. But here's the thing, while he was recording him, he was laughing and smiling while he's doing that, making a mockery of our city, implying that the city commission does not understand English. That behavior was disrespectful, not only to the commission, but to our residents as well. You both are not only deceiving and lying, but deliberately misrepresenting the integrity of this city. I take community input seriously, regardless of the language. and attempts to ridicule or mislead residents for attention or personal agendas are disgusting, and I will not tolerate it. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Harriet?
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a couple things. First, I've got a couple things that I'd like to get updates on, whether that's in an email form after the, this week or mentioned at the next meeting. Either one would work. But I'd like to get an update on the intersection improvements for Lake Helen, Osteen, and Elkham. That's the intersection that we received a 386 grant to address the flooding there. As well as I'd like an update on the installation of additional street lighting on the boulevards that this commission approved back in the fall, as well as where we stand on both the rental ordinance and the no soliciting ordinance, because I know that this commission passed both of those, and where we are with working on enforcement. I'd also like to request get consensus for a resolution on the next agenda to rename Elkham Boulevard to Veterans Memorial Boulevard. I think that having Veterans Memorial Park as a shining beacon of our city, it is only appropriate that we appropriately name the road out front Veterans Memorial Boulevard. So can
you do a roll call, Joyce?
Commissioner Harriet?
Yes.
Commissioner Howington?
No.
Commissioner Nabik?
No.
Commissioner Santiago?
No.
Vice Mayor Villa-Vasquez?
Isn't there a process you have to go through to request a street to be renamed, going through GPS mapping and all that?
He wants it on the agenda so they can talk about it.
Okay, no.
We don't even want to talk about it.
Mayor Villa?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys for that. And then the last item that I have is an update on the Osteen Farmers Market. The group that is putting on the new Osteen Farmers Market is set to open again on the 27th, Friday the 27th, Saturday the 28th, and then Sunday the 1st. Friday it'll be 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. and they'll have a food truck night. And then Saturday and Sunday, it'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then Saturday, we'll have the Volusia County Fire Department. And then we're also talking with the Deltona Fire Department to see if they can both provide a truck out there for the children. I've heard that they're going to have a really well-known and great produce vendor out there now. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And that'll be at the Osteen Farm and Pet on 415. And then moving forward, it'll be the second and fourth weekends of every month. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Commissioner Harriet. Vice Mayor Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, since we haven't spoken since November, I had a few things, but doesn't make any sense for me to even bring it up. But I will mention one thing. We know we had the Lieutenant Governor here in the state of Florida, here in the city of Deltona. Did anybody know about that? Don't worry about it, neither did we. At least I didn't know about it. So I just you guys heard about the veteran stand down. I just want to mention March 19, which is not on the flyer, but I got to tell you that March 19 is going to be a very special day because that's when the traveling walls of Vietnam and the war on terror will be escorted by the Sheriff's Department, by our local VIMA group, biker groups, by the Patriots bikers. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to go down Lake Helen, Osteen, down to Elkham, and then up Howland Boulevard and up to the center. They're going to be erected there. And it's just going to be a beautiful sight. It's going to be a nice ceremony that Thursday. Hopefully, the schedule won't be changed again, but Thursday will be a very emotional day, and you guys should be there. If you have time, we estimate that the walls will be getting into the center about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're hoping to have a big crowd welcoming the walls because it is a Vietnam Veterans Wall. And you know that the most important things for you to say to a Vietnam veteran is welcome home. So we hope that we see a lot of people out there waving flags. It's going to be beautiful. Then we're going to have a laying of the wreaths for our first responders, for our sheriff, our fire department, and of course veterans, and of course our female veterans. I keep forgetting, how do you say, what do you call the carriage? The caisson. So we're going to have a caisson. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a replica of the carriage that carried the President Lincoln's coffin to the burial. So we're going to have that there. It's just going to be very nice. And for those of you who are veteran, the center is going to be open Friday and Saturday just for veterans, their immediate spouses and family. And there's going to be so much in there. It's like a one for all shopping, all needs are going to be taken care of in the center. We're going to have free breakfast, free lunch for veterans only. But the walls are going to be available to view by the residents from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. Right. So from now it's 9 o'clock at night, and they're going to be there till Sunday. So please go. Please visit. There's going to be someone, if you have a member, family member that passed, was killed in Vietnam, you go to the information guys that are going to be there. You tell them their name. They're going to find that name for you and tell you exactly where on the wall is going to be. So please come out. This is the first time that the city of Deltona is having this done. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be an honor for our veterans that we are bringing. The city of Deltona is bringing this to them in partnership with the county, with Scott Olson, who is running the county. Also, the 21st is Love Your Heart race, 21st. 22nd Sunday is leaving from Deltona Middle School, so if you want to participate. And I just want to thank everyone for being out here, and have a blessed night tonight. Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to get an update from the apartments behind Publix. I want to know where we're at with that. Are we fully foreclosing? I mean, I think we all need to know what the status of that is, and if possible, can we put something else so the residents also get that information?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So to clarify, the apartments behind Publix, that is the Toledo Terrace or the Enrico Ridge project?
I believe the one that has not been finished.
Okay.
There's a part that's already been complete. I believe he sold part of that, which is what is being completed. The part the gentleman who has not completed.
Okay, so there's the Toledo Terrace project, which the commission authorized us to foreclose on. We have filed the foreclosure and received a default judgment against the defendants. The next step in that litigation is to move forward and get an order ordering the sale of the property through foreclosure. At that time, the city can potentially bid on that project to become the owner. There may be other bidders who are interested, which time they would take over the project, and the city would get, our payment for our outstanding code liens. So that's the status on Toledo. Once we're closer to that time where we're looking at the foreclosure sale, we would seek direction from you all.
At that time, they'll also tell us what order we're in that process of when we receive our payment?
Correct.
Got it.
And then as far as Enrico Ridge, that was that has not been foreclosed on by the city.
Okay, that's okay. I also would like for us to get an update, and I'm only asking this because I've known before time that this was going to happen, an update regarding the housing that we all supported on Howland Boulevard that had that little road that went through the middle. It's still part of the same owner. Apparently, his funding people have pulled out. So can we get an update? Because now we're going to have another project that I'm hoping he doesn't start where we end up in the same situation we're in. And at this point, I think we need to sincerely put something in that we can talk about as a dais at a commission meeting, where if a developer pulls any of these shenanigans once or twice, they are not allowed to do business in the city of Deltona for an X amount of years. This is the only way, hold on, guys. This is the only way we're going to be able to stop this. Yes,
Yeah, so, and as the Alois, that's the Aloha
Correct.
project, the way that approval was done was very clever. So thank you to the commission on that. And because there was never an agreement reached on the funding guarantee, they have no valid development orders, so that project does not have entitlements at this
Okay.
time.
So can we do a roll call on being able to put something on the agenda? It doesn't have to be the next one, but at least within 90 days, where we can put restrictions on developers that pull these type of shenanigans, where we restrict them. And I don't know if that's a legal that would have to answer before we do that vote, but something where we restrict them from doing business in the city of Deltona when they pull those type of.
Yeah, and we'll be happy to do some initial research that may or may not be possible, and certainly we would want to provide you all with
Do you
that
prefer a
information
workshop?
in advance of a workshop, so that if it is
So you
not
prefer a workshop?
possible, we
Yeah, so here's the thing. Even if we can, candidly, a clever developer will just create a new LLC, which is what they typically do for each project. So part of the challenge we had before was all of the projects were owned by different LLCs.
Correct.
And some of the principals were the same, but they were not all the same. So there may have been one principal in common, and then there were 2 or 3 other people on there.
So you're saying to continue to put the restrictions on each individual, like we did with this particular one, where we put some restrictions at any change, they would need to have to come back to the commission.
You are correct, Mayor. Having development agreements that are strong, and this commission has done an incredible job of that. You have held developers' feet to the fire. This is a great example of that. You all did an excellent job enforcing what your will, and that was, I mean, well done. And now, again, they have no development rights. That's really the mechanism, is to use the tools we have, contracts, development agreements, you all taking votes that are firm, which you have done a great job of, to hold their feet to the fire. The reality is that trying to debar or prevent someone, from coming back if they've done it before, it's likely not permissible. And even if it is, a clever developer will subvert it pretty easily. But we are always happy to try to, we're creative problem solvers, and we try very hard to bring you all solutions that get you where you want to go. And I think as long as this commission continues to push, for quality development and for agreements that protect the city and its residents, we're certainly always happy to do our best to bring those to you. So I think you guys are doing a great job of it. We would certainly do our best to continue to try to help you and support you in your good work.
Okay. In that case, let me shift gears then a little bit. The county has a project or a fund called Volusia Forever. For the most part, it's meant for a lot of different things, but mainly for conservation and stuff like that. I like for us to consider a workshop where we can start our own Deltona Forever Fund when we're faced with situations like this, where we can possibly purchase land for conservation, parks, when we need some stuff for, whether it's to create a barrier for stormwater. I'd like for us to have some type of conversation like that. So if it's okay, Joyce, can we do a vote on that for a workshop within 90 days? City manager, is that feasible? Go ahead.
Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Harriet.
So you're asking just to have the conversation on it?
Yes.
Is that something we could just add to an agenda?
No, we don't have enough time.
Yeah. Within 90 days, is that what you prefer? Workshop? Workshop. Commissioner Novik?
Yeah, I'm in favor of it being at a workshop.
Okay. Commissioner Santiago? All right.
Commissioner Harriet?
Sure.
Commissioner Howington?
Yes.
Commissioner Nobbick? Commissioner Santiago? Yes. Vice Mayor Velasquez?
Yes.
Mayor Vila?
Yes. Last request for the night is Keysville Park. There is a lady that passed away, over 20 years dedicating her life into saving, rescuing pets. Full disclosure, my little dachshund, who thinks he is a Great Dane, got away from my house because he obviously is a burrow dog and he digged through a hole in the fence. And he ran through the huge retention pond where he crossed the street on Fort Smith because he's a crazy lunatic dog. And she found him. She kept him safe. And she contacted me when she found him. As a matter of fact, I believe Commissioner Howington told them that that was my dog. So thank you for that. And I like for us to at least consider the possibility of renaming that park after her name. I'll be more than happy to provide you and the whole commission information on that person. You know, if you have to go through a process on redoing this, but I do want there to be a consideration. So, Commissioner Nobbick, did you have a question before?
Just a comment. I'm not opposed to doing that. However, I believe we have a policy about naming city facilities or properties. Do
We'd
we
have
not?
to check, but I do believe there is some type of policy. Everywhere I've worked, there's always been something where they have to pass for 5 years.
Yeah.
Because O.J. Simpson High School was a horrible idea. So
And that's why I meant
So if we don't have that policy, I would say let staff craft that policy in such a way that it won't prohibit this act from being.
Got it.
But if we just do it without a policy, then Lord knows what
Got
will
it.
get named what in the future.
And that's what I meant, is for me to provide the information so the whole commission can have it via the city manager, whoever is going to receive it. That way we can all look at it, and at one of the commission meetings, then we can actually
I just
vote.
want to have the policy in place before we actually name it.
Understood.
Okay?
Commissioner Harriet?
There is a policy.
Okay.
It's your policy.
Commissioner Harriet?
Thank you, Mayor. Is that the same policy that would govern the process of how we rename a road?
It says to ensure that city parks, facilities, and buildings are easily identified and located. It does not say anything about roads that I see.
I said it's under City of Deltona.
Is there a specific process for that?
Encourage the dedication of lands, facilities, or donations by individuals or groups. I mean, I can get you guys the policy.
Okay.
I don't see anything
Thank you, Mayor.
specific to roads, though.
Commissioner Howington?
I just wanted to ask, I think that somebody had brought forward Tess Fannin a month ago, I believe, so that
resident-
might already be on the schedule, I believe.
I think I brought it up.
It's,
Never got a response.
it was not on the schedule, it was
I think we did a
resident.
consensus vote.
Actually, Mayor, I think the question was she from Deltona? I think that was the question. We needed to know if she was from Deltona.
I can attest to her being from Deltona. So. All right, I'll provide the information we need. Other than that, everyone have a good day and happy Heart Month, and meeting's adjourned.